So good day once again to our viewers. If you want to follow this video lecture, you can hit the subscribe button and share it. And I hope I can impart something to add up in your knowledge, maybe sort of your skill in your journey on becoming future healthcare providers. And we'll pray for that. Okay, shout out especially to my students in nursing and future nurses who will be watching this in the future. So last time in our community health nursing one, we have already discussed primary health care, the basics, the introduction of primary health care, and to start this continuation, we are going to deal with the different healthcare programs or healthcare services in the primary healthcare. So, as we have mentioned last time, these are the essential health services in primary healthcare, acronym by the word elements. But there are other programs still um, in this, let's say, package of services, but we'll have separate video lectures with those um, other services. So thank you for watching. So let's start. So just to mention, element stands for these words or these services. We have E for education for health, L locally endemic diseases, E expanded program on immunization, M maternal and child care program, E essential drugs and nutrition, T treatment of communicable diseases, and letter S sanitation. And we are going to divide this video lectures into these different uh, healthcare packages. And remember that this video lecture is for the purpose of supplementary aids, additional resources for your learning. I still highly advise that you read your books, read references, listen to your teachers in their lectures in your classrooms, and have the discipline for self-study. Okay, again, I advise that you read first, then you watch this video. Okay, thank you. If you have some questions, you can comment down below. Okay. So let's start for the packages, the services, I should say, with letter E, education for health, or in other words, health education. And please remember also that what I'm presenting is already the gist, a summary of the topics. And this may contain um, uh, discussions that is different from the references that you have read, especially the author's way, okay, or the content of the authors of the books that you have read or you're reading. Okay, so education for health, the sum of activities in which health agencies engage to influence the thinking, motivation, judgment, and action of the people. So this education for health is a series of activities, of steps, of actions in order to somehow influence or persuade a person holistically, okay, physically, mentally, emotionally, and to take some action, okay, to adopt maybe or to improve to a more beneficial lifestyle, health, for that matter. And it is quite a challenge for a healthcare provider to do this, but always remember that health education is one of the basic, okay, responsibilities of a healthcare provider. So in addition, consists of techniques that stimulate, arouse, and guide people to live healthfully. And it is a process whereby knowledge, attitude, and practice, or in our term, healthcare providers, skills of the people are changed to improve individual, the family, and the community. So when we're talking about education for health or health education, we have the mentioned clientele that we have in community. These are also the clients that we can have during health education purposes. And when we talk about health education, we're not only talking about well people or sick people, but both types of clients, both the sick and the well. And we are doing this to influence, to persuade people holistically to have or to live a very helpful lifestyle. Okay, so that is a challenge, but we hope we can really persuade them. So, what are the steps in health education? Basic, okay. Although again, other references may present other ways, and we may add another video lecture for this topics also. So, steps in health education is one is to create them. You create them awareness. You raise their consciousness about, especially if they have problems in health. You make them aware of their current situation, of their current status, and how. Okay? You present their current status. If it's a disease, you present the disease. Or as early as if they are at risk of a certain disease, you present it. What is the disease all about? What are the manifestations all about? Um, what's this? What are the possible treatment, or let's say what are the possible consequences of having this disease? Okay, you make them conscious. You give a picture of them having a certain situation or problem or concern or issue. Okay, then after making them aware of something, that's something, you motivate them, okay, on how to live without the disease, how to protect themselves, how to prevent the disease. You motivate them to adopt a healthy lifestyle, and we really hope that they are motivated, that they are being persuaded, that they are being influenced by you, and let them decide. Okay, the decision is 100% from them, especially in a community setting. But as a healthcare provider, you should be an advocate, you should be a facilitator and educator. Okay, since this is all about education, first and foremost, basic responsibility or role is being an educator, okay, a health educator. So you can influence them, you can persuade them on these three steps: creating awareness, motivation, and decision making. Okay, and once they have decided, of course, the next thing there is actually to practice it, to adopt it, put it into action. Okay, and we hope that it will be a successful one. Okay, then what are the aspects of health education? We have three aspects. We have information, communication, and education. Information is you are providing them knowledge. This is the aspect of health education where the educator informs the audience, the clients, or the patient, whoever is attending or listening to your education session, that is receiving or who are receiving the information that you're giving. Okay, so that is one aspect, provision of knowledge through information. Then the second one is communication. When we say communication, these are exchange of ideas, right? Exchange of messages. So when you say communication in terms of education, there is an exchange of information. Okay, being a healthcare provider doesn't mean that you know everything. especially when it comes to experiences. Um, though you or we read from references from textbooks, but it is important also to listen to your clients, to your audience, especially when it comes to their experiences, because you also learn from them. That's why the words they're here or here is exchange of information. You give information, you also receive information more to your clients, to your audiences. Um, they give some information regarding their status, their health, and they receive information regarding that situation that is hopefully and rightfully accurate ones, that is beneficial also to your client situation. Then education is the change in knowledge, in attitude, in skills of that recipient of information, of that client, or of that patient, or of that someone who listened to you. Okay, so there should be a change. Okay, there should be improvement in terms of knowledge, in terms of attitude, and practice. If not skill, we use the term practice when we talk about our clients, our patients. Okay, so um, this change, this improvement should lead to healthy lifestyle. Okay, adoption of ways on how to further prevent a disease from happening, on how to further promote your healthy lifestyle or your well-being, and how to minimize, or if not totally eliminate, risk factors from having a certain type of disease. Okay, so those are the steps and the aspects of health education. Then we move to this list of principles of health education, and we try to simplify this statements. Health education considers the health status of the people. Okay, so when you plan a health education session to a certain group of people, or your client, your patient, you always have that factor or the thinking, what do my audience or my future clients need at this time, or for the future, right? Uh, you consider the present health status of the client. It may be an actual problem, or it may be a risk problem, okay? But the point is, you consider their health status. It's not always that you decide. You may end up discussing something that they really do not need. Okay? So you consider their present situation, present health status. Health education is learning. Okay? It means that you only you 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 assist get the fruits of that information, of that health education session, when you learn. Okay? And um, what's this? The goals, the effects, okay? And when you say you learn from that education, we are not saying that this is a one-time big shot learning, a very, what do you call this? Speedy one or rapid change. Learning in health education takes time, okay? Especially when we talk about the behavior, the lifestyle of your patients, of your clients, of your audience. It takes time. It takes time, sorry. Okay? So health education involves motivation, experience, and change in conduct and thinking. Again, the word motivation experience um, appears. Okay? You should be able to motivate, hey, your client when it comes to health education. You must persuade them, you must influence them to do some action in terms of their health. Okay, so in other terms, this would mean you're convincing power to influence, to motivate your client. And when you say also motivation, it is not only your way of discussing things, delivering information, but you can further motivate them by your example, by your own action, by manifesting it. And that is a challenge, because sometimes, in reality speaking, there are some uh, information that you are teaching by words, no. But when it comes to practice, sometimes you also feel. Okay? Uh, that is a challenge for us. Experience. This is very important because we want to, um, one is we want to be practical. Okay? It means that the things that they are learning from you is applicable to their day-to-day life. Okay? And second, when we talk about experience, is that um, when we talk about experience, is that uh, we consider the experience, the client's experience is considered. Okay? You do not only talk about yourself, much more is you ask an experience. Does anyone here have experienced this type of disease? What was your manifestations? How did you feel about it? What did you do about it? Okay? You ask them. You involve them by asking their experience. And from there, your health education may start. Okay? Then, as we have mentioned, change in conduct and thinking towards helpful lifestyle or helpful living, something that's beneficial, improvement. Okay? Then, fourth, health education should be recognized as a basic function of health workers. As I mentioned several times earlier, this is a basic responsibility, basic function, task, activity, duty of any healthcare provider for that matter, not only as nurses, doctors, physicians, pharmacists, midwives, especially frontliners, okay, especially those people who are considered to be a first line of contact of the audience, the clients, the patients. Okay, so anyone in our field has this a basic function. Health education takes place in the home, in the school, and the community. So, in other words, health is everywhere. Okay, it's not only seen on the hospitals in terms of restoration of health. uh, it's not only in the cities, it's everywhere. Basically, it should be everywhere. Okay, so where health is, health education is, and health is everywhere. Health education should be everywhere too. Okay, health education is cooperative effort between the educator and the recipient of information of the education. Okay, it's a cooperative, it's a cooperation act in terms of the duration, the action, the feedback, the evaluation in every area of that health education session, from the start until the client reaches its goal, is always collaborative, it's always cooperative effort. Health education meets the needs, interests, and problems of the health of the people affected. Sorry. Okay. So as I've mentioned during the first statement, it is based on the needs of the people. It is based on the current status of the people, the present scenario of the people. Okay. The next health education is achieved by doing. Of course, it is self-explanatory. Okay. You get the results, you get the fruits, you get the benefits. You understand why you're doing this when you do it, when you apply it, when you experience it. So you must do it. Okay? Health education is slow and continuous process. So as I mentioned earlier, this does not happen overnight. Okay, it's progressive in nature, um, especially to your clients. As an educator, you have to be patient, and also as a as a person who is doing it, who is adopting the change in behavior, you must also be patient to yourself, okay? Because it does not really process. It is not a speedy one, okay? It's a slow or a gradual, a continuous, a progressive one, okay? Health education makes use of supplementary aids and devices. So, um, basic one is we can use other materials, equipment, supplies, okay, to supplement our discussion, our presentation, our health education for session for that matter, especially considering clients' status. If your clients are, let's say, the younger children, you need some equipment like maybe uh, toys, dolls, videos, visual aids. Okay. Likewise, if your clients are elderly, you really may need supplementary aids like um, bigger visual aids, sound system. Okay, so and this supplementary aids and devices would facilitate your presentation, your health education session, and this may also show creativity on your part and resourcefulness, which leads to the next statement. Health education utilizes community resources. Okay, so if you're doing this in the community, okay, really direct with the community people in their place, you may or you should or may use their resources, their own resources, be it in your example, in presenting reality of the current scenario of their health system in within the community, what are the available resources in the community, in relation to what you are delivering in your health education. So uh, they know that the resources that they have is really accessible, that they have it in their communities. Okay, so that's very important. Using of their own community resources, it may be materials, it can be facilities, it can be people or human resources. Health education is a creative process. Okay, aside from its scientific, it's an art also, in especially on the part of the educator. You show your creativity side, your artistic side of it. When we talk about artistry or creativity, we're not only talking about the visual aids that you have, but how you deliver your topic. Okay? Creativity is also seen there. And creativity, we know, is something that can get the attention of the audience. And the health education helps people attain health through their own efforts. Um, yes, it's achieved by cooperative effort, collaborative effort. But remember, we have mentioned that it is also achieved by doing. And we say doing as you do it on your own effort. Self-reliance, independence, autonomy. Okay, it means that even the head educator is not around, or whoever taught you this is not around, you do it with your own effort, with your own motivation, with your own desire of doing it. Okay, and health education makes careful evaluation of the planning, organization, implementation of health program and activities. So this is still a process. It is in a logical manner, and it does not only end on implementation. Okay, and it has evaluation part. And when you say evaluation, it is done in every stage of the health education process. It is done in every stage of the health education process. So evaluation is very, very important also. Then general aims for health education is to persuade people to adopt and sustain helpful lifestyle practices. We mentioned this several times to use judiciously and wisely the health services available to them. So um, this is one way of raising awareness to your clients. You are going to inform them that you have this type of services, you have this type of facilities, you have these doctors, nurses, midwives in your place. So you should use them properly, use them wisely. This is also part of giving them actions on their own efforts, knowing that they can put their health in their own hands. They can be self-responsible. Okay, so this as part of being responsible is knowing that you have these resources and knowing when, how uh, to use them. Okay, then the third, to make their own decisions. Okay, just like what I mentioned, both individually and collectively, to improve the health status and environment. Okay, so that's part of self-responsibility. The word is, the phrase there is own decision. Okay? Self reliance, independence, okay? In terms of their health. Okay? What are the factors affecting the attainment of health education? Availability and accessibility of health services. Okay, so your goal in terms of your health education will be difficult to attain if they do not have the services. Okay, um, in their community, or they do not know how to use it. They do not know how when to use it. They do not know how to make it accessible. Okay, then another word there is trust. Okay, it's very important to build the trust of your clients. Okay, it's very important to gain the trust. Okay, gaining the trust of your community people will somehow, okay, be a factor that can lead to a very successful education. Then second, economic feasibility of putting into practice the health measures being advocated. Okay? So we're talking about economy and feasibility, the economic possibility of putting it into your day-to-day life. So that's why in terms of primary healthcare, we are talking about services which are uh, uh, accessible, affordable, available, and also affordable. Okay, so it should be economically feasible, economically possible to put it into their day-to-day life, what you are teaching. Then one very important factor is acceptability. Are the people accepting the proposed health practice? Okay, in terms of customs, traditions, day-to-day life, there are some people which is really, this is a challenge. When they are in front of you, they would agree, but after the session, when they go back to their homes, they may not do it. Okay, so that's why it's a very challenging as task or responsibility for us healthcare providers. Okay, acceptability of the proposed health practice in terms of their customs, traditions, etc. Okay, so and you have the chance, okay, to the opportunity to do it, be holistic, okay, from gaining the trust to acceptance of these helpful practices, to from assessment to evaluation, okay, from the before the start of the session until the end of the session, until they go back home. And let's just be sure that they can um, accept, they will practice and sustain the health practices that you have taught them. Okay, then next we have just a rundown of these qualities of being a health educator. Okay, So, education for health, qualities of health educator. You should be knowledgeable, of course, of what you are teaching, of the topic you are delivering. You should be credible. You should be believable. Okay, you should have gained the trust of the people. You should be a good listener aside from a good speaker. You because remember that health education is an exchange of information, exchange of ideas. You should also listen to your clients. Can empathize with others. So meaning you can put yourselves in their situation. You can put yourself in their shoes, as we say. So what will you feel? What will be your thoughts knowing that you are in this situation also? So what from the situation that they have, what can be your professional health advice, professional health education information that you're going to give? Okay, then possess teaching skills. This is also very important because this will facilitate you imparting the knowledge that you have. You're very knowledgeable, you have the mastery of the topics, but you do not know how to impart it. So teaching skills are very important also. Flexible. You should have different plans. Um, um, Certain factors may arise that may disrupt your plan A. So what's your plan B, plan C? Okay, in terms of health education session. Patient. You should be patient towards your clients. Creative and innovative. Um, as we have said earlier, this is where your artistic side rather would come out. Okay, not only on your visual aids or audio visual aids, but also of your delivery. Okay, effective motivator, convincing power, as we mentioned. That's a very important one. Sometimes even if you do not have any visual aids, but the way you speak to them, the way you influence them, the way you motivate them is a very important factor. Able to rephrase and summarize because it may appear, especially if you have the same, especially if they have the same field. Okay, it may appear that you're only reading directly from book or you just directly lifted what you are saying from books, from references. So rephrasing and summarizing will also help you or or d- sorry, directly reading from your visuals. This will not help. Okay, then without further explaining it, elaborating it, so you should have the skill to in rephrasing, summarizing ideas. Okay, and also it's very important that the attention span of your client is, you may expect it to be short. Okay, so rephrasing, summarizing, being creative will help you on delivering your session, your topic. Encourages group participation, good sense of humor. That's very catchy. That's very creative. And of course, you're going to do this because you have the joy of doing it. Okay, so this health education as a future healthcare provider is very important. Okay, a very important task, responsibility of you. Okay, it's not only of the procedures you're going to do. Well, in fact, every skill that you're going to, or every procedure that you're going to carry out, sort of health education will be done. Okay, so again, as we have mentioned, it is based on the needs and the situation of the client. So it's very important to have this responsibility in mind and in heart also. Okay, so that ends our video lecture for health education. You may also, in addition, read on your LMS that I have uploaded. Okay, so thank you for watching this part of our video lecture, Primary Healthcare Education for Health, or Health Education, and see you on the next video lecture, which is locally endemic diseases. Thank you.